here.
Good evening, everyone. You guys ready? You guys ready? Who's speaking today? Welcome to our Alex Monaghan Youth Mental Health Chat. It is week 3. On behalf of the Carion Fenn Board of Directors, the Pickering Mayor's Gala, Mayor Kevin Ash, Ms. Karen O'Brien, our supporters, we want to welcome you and thank you for joining us this evening. We also want to welcome those who are online. We have some great topics today. We'll be talking about intimate partner violence and healthy relationships, as well as addiction and substance abuse. We want to thank everyone who's joined us over the past weeks. It's been a long week. Long week, a long month. We had our Alex Monaghan flag raising at the city of Pickering. We had a great turnout. On Monday, we just had our Queen's Park mental health chat, which was a great success. The attendance was great. We had MPP Bethan Falvey, Minister Bethan Falvey, City of Pickering MPP. We had MPP Lauren Coe, MPP Jennifer French, MPP Fraser. A long list of other MPPs were there, as well as community members, businesses. Our youth also got their certificate at Queen's Park, which was the first one. We also issued our first Alex Monaghan Award. So we do have a form for those who would like to be in the consideration for the $500. We're going to be giving away prizes today as well, so everyone has a chance to win the prizes. Considering that you are also participate in asking a question and being interactive. The young individuals or young adults, we're gonna ask you to go on your TikTok accounts. We did the questions through TikTok last time, which the feedback we got from others was that we wanna do it again. So what's your thought? Do you guys wanna do the questions again through TikTok? This is the chance for you to use your cell phone. We know you guys like to use your cell phones, right? Let's see who wants to do the questions through TikTok.
Nobody apparently.
Adults saying yes. So in terms of we ask the question and you have to provide the response on TikTok. And it's the first person who does it that actually gets the prizes. You were good at it.
I just like saying it out loud. It's very
Yeah?
good. Yeah.
Like, oh, but we'll come to you and you say it out loud. So we'll pick the winner, the first person, and then we'll go to you, and then you'll say it out loud. Would that work? Okay. So we want you to be engaged. We want you to ask questions. We want you to interact. We want you to be engaged. We want you to listen. We want you to gain knowledge from this presentation so that you can utilize that information, not only for yourself, but for your friends or even a stranger, right? We're also going to be selecting individuals to get CPR. Does anybody need their CPR? Okay. So the CPR is on November 30th. So can you send us an email just to let us know that you would like to be a part of the CPR, or come and see me afterwards so I can get your information, get you into our system. So the CPR, again, November 30th, 1 o'clock at the East Shore Recreation Center. Step one, you're in Pickering. Is that the community center? Is it East Shore Community Center in Pickering? Yeah. He doesn't know Pickering. So, okay, so 1 o'clock, if you can send us an email, let us know that you're interested. And then if you've attended, you guys attended all 4 events? Yeah? Okay. So we'll add you to the list so that you can get the CPR certification. Okay? So that being said, let's get started. We're going to start with the first presentation. On addiction and substance abuse with Anjani Mohammed. Anjani? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. When I'm up here, I want you all interacting with me, okay? I'm looking at all of you. Don't be shy, all right? You met me last week, so you know me. And you know I like to joke around and stuff when I can. So, I'm going to talk to you all about, I call it substance use. So, I'm a social worker, as you know. One of the jobs I hold is as a substance use counselor, and I'll tell you more details about that as we go along. So, I have some fairly close knowledge of substance use and what happens when things go off the rails and it becomes substance abuse. All right? So, let's stay with that. Let me see if this works. If not, consider it a big fail. Well, what is it, a teachable moment? I'm trying to join the hotspot, my hotspot. Let me see. I don't know if anybody wants to gather around or what, or anything. Let's see if I can find it. I don't know. All right. So you see, Steve remembers it. That's what we grew up with. All right? That was how we were taught about drugs. Also terrifying word of drugs. Yeah. They were trying to scare us, you would say. I'm here not to try and scare you. That's what we grew up with. I want to start off with some statistics. This would be good for TikTok, which is why I'm starting off with this. So pay some attention, all right? Okay. So according to Stats Canada, 60% of illicit drug users in Canada are between the ages of 15 and 24. That's a high amount, 60%. Marijuana use is the most rampant out of all of the substances. Nearly a third of all high school going teens have reported using it. And about 15% of those same teens have abused prescription drugs. And there's a high level of experimentation with other substances. For example, almost 28% of 8th graders have tried alcohol, and 16.5% have tried marijuana. So what do you think are some of the popular, I want some answers from you all. What do you think are some of the popular illicit drugs in Canada? Yeah? Hmm? Illicit, meaning illegal.
Oh.
Yeah. It's legalized now. Hmm?
Okay.
What?
I forgot about that.
Okay. Anybody else wants to give a try? Nobody knows any of the illicit drugs. Nobody knows any of the illegal drugs. Yes?
I'm not sure what it is, but cocaine.
Exactly. Cocaine. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, meth. All right. Ketamine, also known as Special K. LSD, bath salts, ecstasy, GHB, the date rape drug, heroin, and some of the most widely used drugs are the ones that are legalized, like alcohol. Okay? Teens who abuse drugs are more likely to develop health problems, short-term memory loss, anxiety, depression, decreased appetite, panic attacks, slowed down body movements. You can develop psychosis, cardiovascular disease, liver damage. Like I said, I'm a social worker, I'm a therapist. I had a client tell me about her young son, who's in his 20s, cannabis-induced psychosis. He attacked her. That's how bad it can get, all right? That's what it can do to you. So what are some things that contribute to drug use? There could be a family history of substance use, a mental or behavioral condition, depression, anxiety, ADHD, and people take it to manage symptoms. You
Feeling bad, you're taking anxiety, you're going to take something to help you feel calmer. You might drink some alcohol, who knows? ADHD, your brain is racing all over the place. You might want something to be calmer. Other things, impulsive or risk-taking behavior. Another reason for using as a way to rebel, to show your independence. A history of trauma. Being involved in something traumatic, witnessing something traumatic. Low self-esteem, feeling rejected. Okay? Teens are more likely to try a substance when they're hanging out in a social situation. And alcohol and nicotine are some of the easiest things to first get your hands on. Alcohol and nicotine are legal, right? And it can seem safer. It's legal, it's safer. You generally want to fit in with everybody. So if your friends are using it, you might want to use it. Okay? Stories I share with you, I got permission from these clients. Our client. He started using when he was young because there's a family history of substance use. His dad was a big drinker. Talked about going out for dinner and having alcohol with his dad. Right? Oh, when dad was busy talking to clients, he was sipping. So dad wasn't too aware. And then he shared about how, like I said, alcohol is some of the easiest things to get your hands on. He would lick a cabinet and go bring it off to friends and be like, look what I got. I got a Mickey of this, I got a 26 of this. He wasn't feeling that great about himself, he hadn't got any friends. So that helped him. Right? So, the other thing is you can also feel like nothing bad's going to happen to you. And you may not understand the consequences of eating, but it could happen. Something bad could happen. You're out there, you're more impulsive, you're more open to taking risks, so you may just, who knows what may happen. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, the story here. I told you all I was substance use counselor in one of my jobs. That job is with probation and parole, the Ministry of the Solicitor General. You commit a crime, you end up in court, you get sentenced, you have a probation officer. Alcohol or drugs are involved in that crime. Guess who you're coming to see for substance use counseling? Good old me. You have no idea how many people have messed up things because of substance use. And they know they're messing up, right? So, there's a lot there. And trust me, you don't want to end up in the criminal justice system. You really don't. It's not fun. It's horrible, it's traumatic. And people end up charged with crimes like drunk driving. Oh, well, I just had a drink. And then, no, it's not really, I just had a drink. They're lying. Because the police are going to do their job and check. And then it makes life more miserable. Okay? I'm going to get you. I'm going to be a little nerdy right now. Because this is the part that I like, talking about the brain. This is your brain. All right? This here, this is spinal cord. This part of your brain, okay? Your brain is not fully developed until you're about age 25, 26. Your brain is still developing, right? This is a critical time of life. And substance use can interfere with your brain development. And that may bring about changes to your brain structure. This part of the brain, which is the last part of the brain to be developed, prefrontal cortex, that's the executive functioning, impulse control, decision making, speech, how you talk, how you think through things, how you organize your life, all of those big, big important functions that we need. Those are the last to be developed. Okay? Alcohol use brings about changes in the brain structure and function that can linger and negatively impact you into adulthood. There can be changes in cognitive abilities, such as your memory, your attention, your problem-solving skills, and it may make it more difficult to succeed academically and socially. Addictive drugs, alcohol, cocaine, whatever, provide a shortcut to the brain's reward system. And that heightened sensitivity of your reward system increases the risk of addiction. And adolescents are more likely to be indulged in risky behavior. And the intense euphoria that the drugs bring about can keep going. You haven't fully developed here the decision-making, impulse control, all of that. Add in the chemicals from the drugs doing its own thing in your brain, and you are more, hey, let's go and do this. Right? And it leads to a more rapid dependency on the substance. The teenage brain is developing, the impulse control, the decision making. The drugs bring out an intense reward, and you want more. That's what happens. And the pathway to the pleasure pathways, the neural pathways in the brain are very easily kicked into high gear at this stage in your teenage years. And it reinforces the drug use, makes it more powerful. Also, the incomplete brain development that's still there, remember you're not 25 or 26 yet, can lead to worse judgment regarding the amount and the frequency of taking drugs and enhances the risk of overdose. Again, thinking it's safe, I can do it. Right? So, that's a nerdy part of it. But I think it's important to learn that something is going on in your brain. So how do you cope with peer pressure? Because you have people around you using. Your friends are using. People told me about, using in the bathroom and all this kind of stuff. It goes on, right? So somebody's asking you to use, if they're kind of pushing you to use, you can respond with a bit of humor, just like laugh it off. You can refer to a health issue like, no, this will make my asthma worse or something, like, no, I shouldn't, I'm dealing with this. Ignore that person. Make up an excuse to go, all right? If you're really being pressured, you're in that moment, focus on what's important to you. Not what's important to you in that moment, what's important to you beyond that moment, right? Ask yourself, how can this impact my life? Getting into college, university, whatever you may want to do after high school, right? An apprenticeship, anything like that. Sport. How's it going to impact me with sports even, right? Trying to stay in clubs, all of this stuff. And tell them that the drugs aren't your focus. You have other things that you need to focus on, right? If they won't drop the issue, drop them. Take it from me. You may have friends in high, you may have friends in school. They're just not necessarily the same friends you may have 20 years from now. It's okay. Your future is important. Right? It's tough to deal with it, I get it. I know. I see it even with my parole clients. I have clients who walk into my office looking like me. I'm not a criminal, I don't look like a criminal. Nobody, you don't know who's in charge of what. People walk into the office and they're like, one client, she could be on the cover of Vogue. You know what she did? She was drunk. Police chased her. She jumped out of her moving car and started to run away. Do you think she's going to get away with it? No. No, no, no. That person has since turned her life around, goes to support group meetings, comes to see me, and has a sponsor, and has other supports. But they also recognize that if I want to go and visit, if I want to cross over the border into the States, I have a record. Are they going to let me? I'm going to be getting married, going on a honeymoon. Am I going to be able to travel or get a visa to where I may want to go on my honeymoon? All these things that people don't think about. A simple thing. I just want to go to Buffalo. They may say, bye-bye, you know, then turn back around and drive through traffic in Toronto again. Simple things like that. Think about those consequences. Okay? So I'm going to go through some reasons not to use some drugs and what they do, essentially. So marijuana, it can affect your brain in terms of your brain health. It can cause permanent IQ loss, as much as 8 points. Studies have linked marijuana to depression, anxiety, psychotic episodes, as I told you about. And it can affect your athletic performance. Affects timing, coordination, movement. Meth. Meth is bad. Let me tell you. Meth is bad. I've met many people who use meth. No. Short-term effects. Increased blood temperature, increased body temperature, blood pressure, faster breathing, rapid heartbeat, no sleep, loss of appetite, erratic behavior. You can be aggressive, you can be irritable, you can be violent. Long term, it can cause permanent damage to your heart or your brain. High blood pressure, liver disease, kidney, lung damage, anxiety, confusion, insomnia. You may live with paranoia and hallucinations. You may, I don't know if you've ever seen, intense itching. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, meth mouth. When you see someone, their teeth, it destroys your teeth. All right? Alcohol, which is the most commonly used substance because it's the one that's most widely available besides nicotine. Okay? It's socially accepted. It's a depressant, it slows your functioning. It slows down your brain too. As a young person, you're at higher risk for drinking, for alcohol, for negative impacts. Because again, those executive functions I talked about, decision making, impulse control, controlling your emotions, making decisions, you know, the risk and reward, all of that. When you use it in the short term, risks of using it, you're at risk for accident injury, alcohol poisoning, motor vehicle crashes. You may be vulnerable, you may end up in vulnerable situations. Long-term risks, learning and memory issues, problems with school performance, increased rates of school dropping out, chronic diseases, can affect your heart, strokes. I have clients who come to me who are now sober, and they're like, I feel so much better. I can actually think. I can actually remember. My memory has come back. These are adults, right? So they come and tell me this. I've been sober for this long, and I feel healthier. It's amazing. I can remember what happened last year. Before that, they couldn't. Prescription drugs. That's another big one. And there's this myth that if it's prescribed by a doctor, it's safe, even when used illicitly, but no, it's not. Okay? And sometimes you seek to self-medicate because you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious, you're just feeling overwhelmed with everything, what's going on in life, what's going on in school, whatever it may be, what's going on in the world, all of that. Okay? You're in pain, whatever. How did you, and how are you all getting these drugs? According to, it's been reported that people are getting them from friends or relatives. They bought it from a friend or relative, they got it from a doctor, they got it from a drug dealer, or they're getting it off the internet, right? Possible medical consequences, they have an overdose, particularly if it's combined with other drugs or alcohol. The breathing may go down, it starts to slow down. Risky behaviors, including taking other substances, taking it with alcohol, that can cause big problems. And again, an increased risk to becoming addicted. Right? These are the things. We know the drugs are out there. We know it. We can't avoid it, but you can be safe about it and you can be educated about it. And if you know somebody who's using, don't let them use alone. Be safe. One thing I'll tell you about safety with drugs, make sure you can go and get it at shoppers or wherever, having an naloxone kit and learning how to use it, which is just putting some spray on somebody's nose, just in case. Being safe. Right? Probation and parole have shown me that from the person who had the best paying job in the world and everything, and they started drinking or something because work was so much pressure and all of that, and they just started, and then it just led down and down and down and down and down. And then they're like, I have no job, my family's fed up with me, all this kind of stuff. Private clients, that same one who took the 26 ounce and went to school and had made friends, he said he became such an expert at picking locks because his father started to lock up the alcohol. And one day he got so frustrated he was kicking in the cupboards just to get his hands on the alcohol. That's how bad it got for him. And he's had a few stints in rehab, right? And he's trying. And that started when he was 12. So imagine what happened with him, physically, in his body and emotionally. My message to you is please be aware and don't be shy about anything, about asking, about talking about it. And if you want to come and talk to me and ask me something more, I'm here, okay? Thank you.
Substance abuse addiction. What's one thing you guys learned about substance abuse?
The importance of safety.
Alden? Just got,
Knowing how to control it and not to overuse it. Knowing how to control it and not to overuse it.
okay. Okay. What'd you say, Ron?
The importance of safety.
The importance of safety.
You never know what you're gonna get. My best friend died with 3 others
Your best friend died what?
trying one thing one time. Overdosed with 3 other people at a party.
3? Did you hear that? What did he say? With
3 other
others.
people.
Because they cut something with fentanyl?
There's a drug called Molly, right? And Molly is something, it's not like the other, certain drugs are worse than others because of, like alcohol has the worst, like it has similar like very, very negative things that come with it. Like it being a compound drug, you're more likely to try new things or do certain behaviors that you usually wouldn't do or you'd never dream of doing. But with that one, it's a bunch of mixed things all in once. So you never know what you're getting.
We have been fentanyl.
They just, it more than likely is. It more than likely is. But when 3 people die, it was never good to start with, you know?
Yeah.
Do you guys know anyone who passed away? Ethan, turn on the phone, please. Do you guys know of anyone who passed away from overdose?
Oh, and by the way, that was the strongest person I ever met in my life, too. The strongest person.
Anybody? Nobody? What's your thoughts on drugs? Are you guys seeing it at school? Alden? What's that, Alden?
So, my honest thoughts on drugs, I mean, it's usually used around for like different purposes, but like, if for example, like the medical world, they can be used for like, money gain, certain stuff. But like, when it's like for instance, illegal, then that's where it becomes a problem.
Social worker?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, what?
You can be prescribed, you can be using it medically appropriately, and that's what you use it for. It's when you start using it outside of those boundaries of what it's meant for that it becomes problematic.
Well, there's emotional dependency and physical dependency. Does anybody know the difference between the two? Does anybody know the difference between emotional dependency on a drug versus the physical dependency on a drug? Safwan? I did not say Sufyan. It's Safwan.
So like emotional dependency could be something like you not feel the feelings or whatever. And whereas like physical could be do something else physical in your body.
Did you hear what he said, Anthony? He said physical dependency is for something physical to help your body, such as a chronic pain patient. Chronic pain is one of the top things impacting the health of individuals around the world. So there are chronic pain patients who depend physically on medication, prescribed medication, not street drugs. Prescribed medication to tolerate their pain, and there are the emotional dependencies. So he said that if you are relying on drugs to help you deal with your emotions. Yeah?
Physical dependency also. Because if they start with
Physical dependency.
so sometimes people are physically dependent on drugs because if they start to withdraw, the symptoms are terrible. So they keep using it because they don't want to go into withdrawal because of how horrible they will feel. So like for instance, alcohol, people can experience seizures and shaking and all of that. So bringing up an example here, you may remember during COVID, the LCBO was open and people were like, why? That was because they know there are people who have a physical dependency on drugs, on alcohol, and if they started to go into withdrawal, like having seizures and dehydration and all sorts of things, they would also have to go to hospital. That would have put an additional strain on hospitals during COVID. So that became what's known as a harm reduction measure to keep people safely using and to not limit the healthcare system.
We're talking about two different things.
No, that's physical.
No, I get what you're saying. You're talking about it in terms of substance abuse.
Yeah.
I was talking about it in terms of chronic pain
No, I'm
patients.
sorry.
Okay.
I thought it
There's,
was substance use. I'm not a chronic pain specialist.
Yes.
So I can't speak.
No,
to
no, no,
that.
I understand, yeah, no, I completely understand that. What we're trying to let them know in terms of understanding, in terms of the difference between emotional abuse or emotional dependency, which falls into the abuse side of things that you're talking about, right? Versus the physical. And I think too, a lot of people get confused, not you, but a lot of people get confused between the two. And often people go through that stigma of not understanding in terms of the difference between the abuse as well as the chronic pain patients. But I think we have to understand the difference between the two in order to be able to be mindful. Because a lot of people are on medication, right? A lot of people are on medication. So, Mohammed? Sure.
Is caffeine a drug? And
Yeah.
if it is, what are the effects on youth?
I don't know much about caffeine. To label it as a drug or not.
It
It's
is.
not considered a substance of abuse within. I don't know much about caffeine and how it's classified. So, and I don't know the effects. Steve?
I'm not sure if I know this. I may have to look it up, but I believe that caffeine is not a drug. Oh, sorry. Caffeine is not a drug, but it does act as what's called a stimulant. Yeah? And a stimulant, I mean, obviously coffee is not illegal, but people who do drink a tremendous amount of coffee, it's the caffeine. And caffeine is not just in coffee, it's also in tea, soda, right? Coca-Cola has a lot of caffeine. And so it's a stimulant that affects you physically, but it's not designated, as I understand it, it's not designated as a drug. Although some people, if they have 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee a day and multiple, caffeine shots, and then if they don't have it one day, they will go into withdrawal. So the symptoms are similar, but it's not classified as a drug, as I understand it.
Good question.
To add on to that, it's classified as a drug because it stimulates the central nervous system. But yeah,
Pardon
it does stimulate, but it stimulates the central nervous system, so it's classified as a drug.
Is that Dr. Google?
So it's classified as a drug, but not an illegal drug.
No.
Yeah.
You got legal drugs and you got illegal drugs. It's like alcohol,
So
right?
let's start with the prize. Would you like to pick the question? Anthony? Would you like to ask a question? And can you guys go to TikTok? And it's the first person to answer the question correctly, and then I will bring you the mic, and you will say the answer, or if it's someone online. Do you want to?
What's the percentage
That's the coffee.
for the drug users in Canada who are between the ages of 15 and 24? What's the percentage? I gave you a percentage amount from StatsCan. A certain percentage of illicit drug users in Canada are between the ages of 15 and 24. What is that percentage?
Do they answer on TikTok?
Yes, you have to post the answer on TikTok. The first person to answer the question, and we're giving away a free earbud. The first person to answer the question on TikTok. What is the first response from?
You want, okay, Rufida got 60%.
Rufada?
Rufida.
Who's,
Right
oh. And the answer is that correct? Okay. You actually got the first, but. Next question. We're waiting for Nicole Perriman. She's on her way, so I'm killing some time as she's on her way. Next question.
At what age is the brain considered fully developed?
That's my favorite question.
TikTok.
At TikTok, you gotta post the answer on TikTok. Just say the response, Ron, and then,
Should let them answer for a little bit.
yeah.
Give them the username again for TikTok.
So to join the TikTok, it's at Carion Fenn, which is Carion, F as in fabulous, ENN. So if you go to TikTok, type in Carion, F as in fabulous, ENN. Which all of you's gonna figure out a word for your first initial in your name, right? Because of like T as in terrific. A is in amazing.
That went down.
G is in. Anyone? No? Great. I was gorgeous. I do too many television. So, what are the answers you got so far?
Nobody got it right.
Oh, you know the answer?
Yeah, no answer.
Well, don't say the answer. Oh, you know the answer?
Yeah.
Oh, so nobody got it right.
I know from personal experience.
I think one of those is right.
Oh,
Based on what she said.
I think you're,
Safwan said 26.
someone say 25, 26. So which one is correct? Which one?
You could say Safwan said he did say 26, which is technically right, but
I said
it's also
25,
starts at
26.
25.
25 to 26 is the answer.
Is what I said.
Yeah.
25 to 26. Who's CC? Oh, hello. And what is your answer?
The answer is 25 to 26.
What was the question?
The question, I forgot.
What was the question?
At what age
What age
is the human brain considered fully developed?
is the human brain considered fully developed?
25 to 26.
What do you get in if you win? There you go. You're welcome. Awesome. Do we want to try another question? Okay?
Could be a true or false.
No, but everybody's gonna say true or false. You want a true or false one? Want to make sure they're paying attention.
Okay, all right. Yes.
I can talk about it myself.
Name one risk, one effect of using methamphetamine, crystal meth.
You guys hear that? Are you Googling? Are you Safwan? Sophia? Are you Googling? Who's using Google? Who's using Dr. Google? No? We have so far intense itching. Oh, that was fast. That is correct. Who said that? Okay. So I'm gonna give you a gift card. What is the answer? She said intense itching. Okay, gonna do another one for the earbuds. We're still waiting for Nicole Perriman to show up. She's going to be talking about intimate partner violence and healthy relationships. I'm going to ask a very easy question, and if you guys have been paying attention, you guys should know this. So are you guys on TikTok? You guys on TikTok? Okay. And the count of 1, 2, and this one's gonna be the fastest person to type in the answer. Who is the mayor of Pickering? See, I gave you a very easy one. Oh, wow. So the mayor of Pickering is that the second name, Ron? Who's that?
Chris.
Who's it? Right? Oh, is it? Oh, interesting. No, you can't name it at the same time. There's one before the other. It's right there on TikTok. Oh yeah, can I see your phone, Alvin?
Actually, Mom, I'm wrong. It's Saffron.
Okay, so it's showing different. It's actually showing different. I'm telling you, man. If I have a best friend, I want to be a best friend like Ethan. Oh my gosh, I can't say nothing without him picking up for Alden. He's a great advocate as a friend. he normally does that. Anytime I say anything in regards to Alden, it's like, ah! I'm like, you know what, Ethan? When you get your own charity, then come talk to me. Then you can say what everyone should do. So, I'm going to give you both. For some reason, he was right. I wasn't going to listen to him. So, on Alden's phone, for some reason, he responded before Safwan. But, isn't that weird? How's that possible? Can I see your phone? Yeah, I know. I saw it on my device, but I actually saw it on his device. And it shows Alden's name first before yours. Do you have another question? You can find one? I'm gonna ask, okay, another question, an easy one. You guys should know this. How did Alex Monaghan pass away? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Put in your answer on TikTok. Does anybody know? How did Alex Monaghan pass away? We've talked about this, and this is the reason why want to try their best to do what they can to help reach out to young people, to educate you, to help you deal with different things that you're going through, to provide programs and support that are available to you so that you know that it's okay. Oh, that would have been a good one to ask you. What does Mayor Ash always say? It's okay to not be okay. And yeah, I told him the other day when he said, you started this new thing now, call me or call Carion. I said, I like it better when you said call me. So, Ron, who's got the answer? Does anybody know? On TikTok. We're gonna do another gift card.
CC said suicide.
Cece, who's Cece? Cece?
CC stands for Sierra, and it's
Sierra. I was gonna say it was carbon copy. See, I got you laughing. Sierra.
I remember you saying that he died from suicide, but I forgot the age you said.
There we go.
So I can give you another gift card.
So he died by suicide. So the proper way of actually saying it is die by suicide. Very good. You come up with one more question? Oh, this is a good one. Name one risk of smoking marijuana. I guess you can smoke as well as. So, name one risk of smoking marijuana. Are you guys nervous about answering the question? You don't want to get in trouble? No? Anyone? Someone said addicted. Are you guys Googling the answers? Really? Don't you have your own phone? You don't have TikTok? Sophia, you don't have TikTok? Battery's low. So I'm gonna use something funny. We work with Smart, and we brought other bricks, but the brick with the USB, because I know everybody's using USB-C, and we had about 12 or 14 youths that were present, and we wanted to find a brick. We could not find a brick. And it was so shocking for me to know that they were like 12 or 14 young people present. Not one person had a charger. You guys are always on your phones. Does your battery last all day? No? Yeah? Well, apparently, because you don't carry your charger. I was expecting at least one person would have left the charger, but nobody. So can I get someone to ask, let's take a couple questions for Anjani. We want you to step, Ron, go ahead.
What's the difference between someone under the ages of 24's brain compared to somebody 25 and up?
In terms of?
In terms of what?
Like
That's-
life
The
experience.
brain is evolving from the time you're born.
Mm-hmm.
So it's considered that the full development is at that age.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact difference is.
Like
Can you hear?
decision making, all that stuff.
I'm not specialized in neurology.
Okay,
So to
good.
give you that kind of an answer, like, I can't tell you at 24, don't make a decision about buying a house versus at 25 and a half, make that decision.
You have to focus your question on the topic, which is addiction and substance abuse.
At 18, don't
Yeah,
run out,
you
don't
could-
decide, this is the love of my life and I'm going to get married. Wait a little more.
Yeah, but when they're that age, they won't wait.
Their
They
hormones
won't
and
wait.
all sorts of other stupidness at play.
Being that young, you can impact the rest of your life fast. Take 30 seconds. You could be in jail, you could be dead, you could.
Impact someone's ability to be addicts? No, I'm talking about addiction.
I don't know that aspect of addiction.
Oh, okay.
I'm a therapist. I'm not a scientist in addiction. I'm a therapist. So when your life gets completely messed up because of addiction, that's where I come in.
Oh, so she's
I cannot
misfixing.
answer the science.
Yeah.
I'm not educated in the science part. I understand
So
some
how
of
do
the
you
science.
counsel someone
I understand some of
who
the
is?
science, but I'm not a neuroscientist that has gone and done
So,
brain studies.
so in terms of counseling someone who might be going through emotions like female versus male, one sex can be more emotional than the other. Does that play a role, or she doesn't?
It's based on your theoretical perspective. That's not the theoretical perspective. That's not the therapeutic perspective that I use when it comes to how I work with clients. You know, I have to take in a lot more into consideration in terms of male versus female. There's a lot more at play than just that.
So which sex is more prone to addiction? Is there a sex that's more prone to addiction than the other, or is it equal balance?
I don't know the numbers, but people have been exposed and experienced different things, which impacts addiction.
Yeah.
In terms of, I can speak from the criminal justice side of things. The majority of my clients are male.
Okay.
And they have been conditioned from young not to deal with problems and to not to face problems by talking about it, but to find another way to cope with issues. They have found substance use as a way of coping. As a wider society, women have been conditioned to be more expressive and to reach out for help, and now men are being encouraged to reach out for help.
Okay.
Because males seeking support has been stigmatized. And now they're working really hard to break the stigma. But in terms of who's showing up in the criminal justice system, that's what's showing up.
So, Mayor Kevin Nash declared a month, the month of November, in the city of Pickering. Does anybody know which awareness month November is in the city of Pickering? Can we look at TikTok? Can you post the answer? It's been declared that November is a specific awareness month in the city of Pickering. Does anybody know which awareness month is November? I'm gonna take away Safwan's phone.
Why are you all here?
Yes. Are you, I wanna see someone else answer except for Safwan. And Cece.
Yeah.
Sorry? Or Alden. Or Alden. Okay, so
What's on your t-shirt, people?
for everyone to get their hours for today, you have to answer at least one question. Otherwise, I will not sign off on your hours. New rules. I get to make them. Awareness Month is November in the city of Pickering. Who would like to,
Come on, y'all.
Ron, can you check?
Why are you all shy? This is the third Friday. Don't you all go to school together?
Miss Bliss said Mental Health Awareness Month.
Who?
Miss Bliss said Mental Health Awareness Month.
Miss Blitz. Oh, hey, how's it going? She is correct. She is correct. I'm actually going to save you the t-shirt. I know who that is.
What's on your t-shirt, y'all? What's on your t-shirt?
So, if you are on TikTok and you're local, and if you guess the question right, you can pick up the prize. So we will extend the prize to those who are online. If you are local, you can pick up the prize. Okay? So, Miss Blitz, you will get a free Let's Talk About Mental Health t-shirt. I will put it aside for you. Can you put this in the Let's Talk About Mental Health green bag as well? And I'm also going to give her a free earbud. See what happens when you answer the question? You get prizes. Okay, so let's see. Do you want to take a 5-minute break and then we'll start with the second presentation, then we'll try some questions after that? Let's take 5 minutes, maybe take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back. For those who are online, we're going to do the question and answer after the speaker. The next speaker is going to be Nicole Harriman, social worker. She'll be talking about intimate partner violence and healthy relationships. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, make sure you're online. If you're local and you get the question right, we will give you the prize. Okay? So we'll be right back in 5 minutes.
Okay. The reason for that is like I'm facilitating, so it's always nice to like know people's names, know who I'm talking to. I appreciate you like obliging me. You want me to wear the microphone?
Can you show her what she needs to do?
Want me to wear it?
Let's leave it on the table.
Okay.
She's very sensitive. Wow.
I know, it's like to come closer. All right, so I was supposed to talk to you all about gender-based violence, intimate partner violence. Does anybody know what that is? Yes.
It's toxic relationships, right?
Pardon?
Essentially like covering toxic relationships, right?
Pardon?
Is it like essentially covering toxic relationships, right?
Toxic relationships, yes. You will.
Sophia, can I get you to come and take the phone around? In case someone else, you're gonna be my mic runner. You're playing on your cell phone, so you need to come. Come on,
So
he's gonna be your mic runner.
we have conflict, toxic relationship. Anyone else? Anyone know what gender-based violence means? Want to try? I feel like you know. Like, I don't know. Anyone else? We're waiting to hear you say that. Anyone, any of the adults, you know what that is? Yes, yes, thank you.
Could it be something like domestic abuse?
Domestic abuse, exactly, thank you. So toxic relations, domestic abuse. Anybody else there is a hand?
Can it include words as well?
Pardon?
Can it include words as well?
Absolutely. What are you thinking?
Words like the B word, words like, yeah. Can you-
Name calling?
about the- please?
Yes.
Financial abuse?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Could I add blackmail, potentially?
Blackmail, absolutely. Yes. Harassment, absolutely.
I think stalking and cyber stalking and bullying.
Cyber, yeah, that's huge. Absolutely. So all of those are like parts of describing what gender-based violence, intimate partner violence, and healthy relationships. So that's kind of what we'll talk about today. But it'll be facilitative, so we're like talking and kind of like sharing information together. Okay? So gender-based violence is the first one. What do you think gender-based violence means? Yes.
Violence against
Close. Getting close. Yeah. So violence against a certain gender. Now we just figure out what gender. Yes. What other types of females? Yeah, like female women, girls, and then people who identify as trans women. Did I say that right? Yeah. So that's because the stats state that women and girls and people who identify as females experience a lot of abuse and violence in relationships. And if you have like a racialized identity, so if you're black, racialized, indigenous, it gets even higher. Why do you think it would get higher for women and girls? Why do you think gender-based violence is an issue for women and girls?
it's always been an issue.
Why? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. They're always seen as less than, yeah, weaker, someone else, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something, but if you want to talk about what you said.
We can try something else. Why do you think there's violence against women and girls specifically?
I feel like
will feed up the
laptop.
laptop.
I feel like in the past, because like people didn't, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I have nothing.
No, but I think you're right. Past Sarah, right? And Sarah's right too, because in history, like things were okay for a while. Then the Europeans came and they had a way of living that they kind of imposed on everybody else in other cultures. And their part of living was seeing women in a certain manner, right? And so, similar to what you said, you both said in the past, it just seemed to continue that way, right? And so, women were often subjected to experiences of violence, not just like what we talked about cyberbullying, but there's other forms of violence that women are exposed to that probably are like more underneath that makes sense. So do you have any examples, like some examples of like how women can be exposed to violence? Anything? Yes.
I think a lot of people would assume physical violence, but I think there's some more subtle ones. And one of them would be around controlling their lives, who they can see, who they can be with.
Yeah. And that can start from like even childhood, right? Because I remember living in a household where I had to tell my parents, like I was young, but it continued like as I got older, right? And there's some households where women have a little bit more expectations and say like their brothers do, and so that's a form of like violence as well. And like simple stuff, like well, I don't know if it's simple, it's not simple, but like if two people went for a job and one was a female and one was a male, that female would always be paid less than the male. That's a form of violence, right? Because there's no equal parity in terms of their wages. Anything else? Think about school. How are girls treated differently at school or women treated differently at your school? Or work?
For me, I think when I was in school, in high school, I was my age. If I had an opinion on a certain topic, it wasn't considered valued, not just because I was black, but because I was female.
I agree. So if I were to answer a history question, it would be answered, it would be ignored, and I felt it's like this what I said.
That's a form of violence, right? Because what did it do to like yourself as a person?
For me, it made me feel hurt that the guys in my high school, as including male teachers, didn't really pursue or actually value my opinion and support them, and they always like crush down and like put me down.
So very much similar to what we shared in terms of that control, right? Because then you start feeling small. Why am I saying anything if they're not going to take my opinion seriously? And do my opinions matter? Or am I important enough to have an opinion? Yes.
I'd say my school is like very well educated on this, and like a lot of everybody's treated very equally for the most part. But I'd say it's very good. Like you're all very educated on like topics like these.
That's really good. That's important because that changes like what we shared about history, right? Because we want to be able to change history so that people know that they're valued regardless of their gender. All right. So now we talked a little bit of gender-based violence. So let's kind of move into like intimate partner violence. Does anyone know the difference or what does that mean? Intimate partner violence?
Is it where like, I mean, I think I've heard a lot of cases of it. It's like where one partner usually like likes to take advantage or manipulate the other. And it can go like both ways, male or female. So it doesn't have to be male dominated, like abusing the females. It could be like female abusing males.
Absolutely. So it's kind of what you see is like sometimes with couples, they have arguments, right? Has anyone heard of a couple that didn't have arguments? And sometimes when they argue, they may shout, they may swear at each other, they may like call each other names. It's not okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's like intimate partner violence. Does that make sense? So when it gets really bad, it's similar to what we shared before, it's when it's control. When one person, whether it's the male, the female partner, whoever, is starting to control the other partner, that's when intimate partner violence occurs. Why do you think that happens in relationships? Yes.
The partner can get like jealous of what the other one is doing. So they just start like controlling like what they do, how they dress and how they
So like how that partner feels, like jealousy. When someone feels jealous, what do you think they feel inside? Envy? Yeah. What else? Do you think else they feel inside? Yes. Anger too. Yeah. What else?
Insecure.
Insecurity. Yeah. Insecurity. Because if you don't feel good about yourself and then you're in a relationship with someone and that person is like talking to other people and you start to feel like, ooh, like maybe they don't love me enough, right? What else do you think people feel inside?
Regret.
Feel regret? Yeah. Sometimes like when things happen to us when we're growing up and like people similar to your situation, but people tell you you're not good enough, you're not a good person, or you do bad things, you start to feel really low about yourself. And so when people feel like really poorly about themselves, that's when they start to feel like, how do I gain control? Right? And sometimes gaining control is with your partner. Any other like thoughts about how do people get into relationships that are abusive? Yeah.
From childhood.
How do you think?
For me, I know that everybody has too much details, but for this topic, I will say exactly from childhood. So when the partner has gone through whatever hurt they felt from the parents, they grow up and they do that towards their partner because they think that it's okay. But it's not.
Anyone else agree? What do you feel? Yeah, that was really good. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else have any other thoughts? what if you feel that you're insecure or you feel jealous as a partner, and then you find a partner who does the same thing? Is that Does anyone know anybody who's been in an intimate partner situation, violent situation? Raise hands. Yeah, two. And what's like the worst thing that could happen, you think, in that type of relationship?
And not being able to be themselves. Like, for me, I've noticed I had a friend, she went through some situation like this. For her, she was more bubbly and outgoing. And then over time, I started realizing that she stopped texting me, calling me. She used to call me the day we were in school. I didn't remember when she was living, so she would call me to make sure that I had to pay. And she stopped doing that, and I was like, okay. And I found out that she blocked me, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not doing this. So I took the bus from Scarborough to her house, and I was like, I can't see you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I put two and two together, I was like, it's your boyfriend.
Yeah, this is right here. And you're, like, the way you describe it is very similar to what happens to someone who is going through an intimate partner violence situation, right? So first of all, it starts off really good. Have you heard of like love bombing before? Nobody? Well, it's like when you start a relationship with someone and they do everything for you. They buy you flowers, they take you out, they buy you things, they make you feel special, and then they might slip up and they might say something mean or, you know, send you a jealous text, and then you're like, what's happening? And then you start to like question them, but then they love bomb you again, right? So it's like this back and forth. So like anybody can get into that relationship, because when people make us feel good, then we're like, okay, you know, they're nice, I can do this a second time. And then they may do something that might hurt you. They may yell at you or tell you not to talk to your friends. And part of you is thinking, why would they do that? But then they give you these really great explanations as to why. And you start to understand, maybe this is the best relationship for me. And so it slowly builds over time. And kind of very much what you shared is they'll start to isolate you, so you won't be connected to your friends. They start to control how you think, what you do, where you go. I've had couples where they were recording them in the house, or watching kind of their movements, where they're going, tracking their phone. I've had situations where when the police came, because of an incident that happened, the partner would say, you know, well, my partner has mental health issues. She's acting that way because of it, right? And that person kind of loses touch with their connections. And so part of like how you support people who experience intimate partner violence is really to maintain that contact. Because you never know when it's that moment that they've had enough and they need that support from someone. Is there any questions anyone has about intimate partner violence?
How do you give advice to someone
It's a tricky situation, right? Because like you said, it's hard because you already have this emotional attachment to this person, and they're very much like under their control. They're believing kind of the behaviors or what they're experiencing, right? So sometimes the best way is just to be there, right? Just to be there and listen, just to tell them you still love them, you still care about them, you're there whenever they need support. Because it takes a while for a woman or a person who's in a really violent relationship, it takes them a long time to like leave that relationship, if that makes sense. And sometimes women leave several times before they actually end the relationship. And then when, you know why they do that? Why do you think it's hard for women to leave?
Maybe it's because of like they have back thoughts of like from what their partner said. So we're gonna think about that constantly. So we're helping monogamy. And also, I'm pretty sure I remember from like I learned about from my grade 9 religion class. I'm pretty sure that, let's say if a woman tries to go, we're gonna have like, where do I go?
Say, no, you have to stay home with the kids, so she kept losing her jobs all the time. So she had no money to leave. So when she left, she had to like go to a shelter. But then who wants to live in a shelter when you can live in your house, right? So that's an issue. And then their partner does the things that they do to bring them back. They give them flowers, they tell them you're sorry, they kind of do this love bombing again, and so you're like, okay, well, it was just one mistake. And then you go back to the relationship. So sometimes it takes women, men, in those relationships a long time before they decide to leave. So being there is hard, but it's really, really important. Any other questions? Any other things that I'm missing? Yes.
I would also think that if we're talking about a woman leaving that relationship, we just say, that's fantastic, she got away. But the trauma that's been created in that intimate partner violence doesn't allow them to have those healthy relationships in the future. And they may stay away and not want to get intimate. I mean, I think that's a form of PTSD.
Yeah, I agree. It is like, yeah, it is PTSD. Because then you have to like kind of figure out who you are on your own, right? And they've had like people talk about their family members and say they were broken or they were like really not well, right? Or really hurt by the things that have happened to them. And so it takes a while with support to kind of get back to where you need to be. And sometimes that can take a while. It can take years. So we started off talking about gender-based violence, then we did intimate partner relationships, and we went down the hole of talking about some of the challenges in those relationships. We identified like physical abuse, whether it's hitting, punching, throwing things at a wall, saying I'm gonna hit you or hurt you. All of those are forms of like abuse. Criminal harassment, so like stalking, we brought that up as well. We talked about emotional, psychological abuse, saying things to people that's really hurtful, saying they're not good, they're not a good mom, they're not a good friend, things like that. Spiritual abuse, reproductive coercion, stop me if you don't know what that means. Coercive control, and then I have to mention technological facilitated violence. I feel this is new, but this is like cyberbullying. Has anyone ever seen cyberbullying before? Okay. Yes, so cyberbullying is a form of violence, absolutely. And then financial control. So I think I covered all of it. So my next goal was to have everyone maybe work in groups and kind of come up with a list of like 10 things that is a healthy relationship. Like what is a healthy relationship? Does that make sense? So maybe the 4 or 6 of you, and this table, you're just one group, and you come up with a list of 10 things of like what is a healthy relationship, and then we'll share each other's ideas. Does that work? Okay. And we have 5 minutes.
You guys want a piece of paper? Are we going to use your phone?
Sorry, I don't.
How would you show?
Reassuring them that they have
What is what? You supposed to go with 10 things?
Yeah, 10 things that describes a healthy relationship.
Trust. Honesty. Responsible.
lover. Just a random Yeah, what else? Communication, okay, what's next?
Are there people online?
Yeah.
We ask them to also write in the chat what they feel is a healthy relationship.
What else?
Yeah.
Boundaries.
What kind of boundaries?
Trying to get 10 in 5 minutes.
Supportive communication. Good son of role, encouragement of social lives and
Which kind
friendship.
of communication? Somebody, not you, somebody,
It's not you apparently.
somebody, the four of you. What kind of communication? That is communication. What kind of communication?
Okay, you guys only have 6.
How many do they have?
Doesn't matter, don't say it.
4.
What was the question? What was the answer?
How can you tell relationships when the man finds flowers, come back.
So, but says
The chair.
respectful communication with compassion and understanding.
The chair.
Thank you. Kind of communication.
He said respect.
No, I said not him times, I said that times.
Huh? Listening? What did you guys answer? They said honesty.
These.
They did. Yeah,
I said what kind of communication? I got the fact that I landed from it.
Oh my God.
No.
what else? What's 7?
Stop giving me the answer.
Did everyone answer one question tonight? Because if you don't answer one question tonight, I'm not signing off on your hours.
Don't give a fuck.
Okay, everyone sounds like they had a really great conversation. This group really wants to go first. Oh, that's different. Okay,
Quality time?
Together.
do they need a microphone?
Ready?
Okay, so share with us your 10 healthy relationship, and they might have the same one, so I might ask them to
I know the first one we said was honesty. Our second one was loyalty, and we had trust.
Okay. Anyone else? Respect. Respecting each other. That's a huge one. Okay. Did your group have any of the same ones? They did. I have 5. Let's do 5 for them. And then we'll go back. Okay, what was your top 5?
So that's over there.
Oh, you wrote it. Thanks. Okay, let's hear it. Trust. Trust as well. Respect. Respect. Show of love. Boundary. Listening. Quality time. Those are really good ones. What are you missing?
Someone online said giving others the freedom to be themselves.
That's a good one. The freedom to be themselves. Renan? you? A little bit? Okay. That's good. Thanks for sharing. What else do we have? Being here. So what if you accidentally told a lie in a relationship? What do you think is important?
Is it like eventually like telling eventually telling the truth?
Say you're sorry, yeah. Because I think relationships are not meant to be perfect, right? There's always going to be, like I said, there's times in relationships where there's a little bit of conflict, and that's okay. And it's okay to apologize for your behavior, for your actions, for making someone else feel upset. It's like this constant, that's what we're talking about. Yes.
Or being able to, like to, to show your mistakes or tell your mistakes,
Yeah.
or to admit.
Admit your mistakes, yeah, absolutely. Anyone else online? That was good. That was a good start to healthy relationships. Thanks everyone for participating. Oh, should I do a question? What's gender-based violence? That's a prize question. What prizes do you want to get?
What's gender? Well, it's violence that happens in a relationship, and it's usually towards women, or like girls or non-binary.
Good answer.
Or would it also be like directed also towards more vulnerable partners who
Yeah.
manipulated as well?
Yeah.
Because it can also happen in any relationship. Let's say a lesbian who dates me.
Yeah, intimate partner, yes, it does. Absolutely. And it can also be men experiencing abuse, right? Did I start that? I think 25% of men are in relationships where they're being abused. So that's a pretty high number, right?
Good question. Is this like man to man, or is it man to woman?
It can be both.
Both.
Yeah.
But the percentage that is listed, is it both, or is it just?
I want to say it's women to men. What? You said wow, right? So then there's other stats about women that's really high rates, right? And then if you're black or racialized, then it's even higher. So making popcorn.
Oh, you smell popcorn?
Mrs. B. It's like this distinctive.
Are you sure you're smelling popcorn?
Yeah, it's not too.
Is there a doctor around? You know what they say about when you smell things, that's not really there.
What does that mean?
Yeah, but it's smell there.
We smell popcorn.
Sure, who smell popcorn?
Okay.
Oh, see,
we
we
try
turned
to
all
solve.
keep our hands down.
Yes,
Keep your hands down and then I think that she's actually not, yeah, you guys are not. Too honest, too honest. You know what I've noticed? Carbon copy wears her shirt every week. Like I'm saying, looking like who's carbon copy? No, it's
Who's Oh, this one? Oh,
or maybe
right
CC,
here.
CC, right? Okay, does anybody know what, is it BCC? What does BCC stand for?
Elaine,
No, don't say anything. What does BCC stand for?
you know,
Oh, wow.
it doesn't mean that.
You said emails?
Since you were like 10, when did you get an email from Dartmouth State School? Oh, that's when you got it.
Okay, for a prize, ask a question.
I did. What is gender-based violence?
No, that's a question. No, you're not getting no prize.
What is a form of intimate partner violence?
Not soft one.
What? Who can answer?
Not CC.
If they're paying really good attention.
Are they big? Okay, go ahead, CC.
Okay, I was gonna say that form of,
What is a form of intimate partner violence?
one of the forms could be, physical or verbal, like gaslighting them and like thinking that like the relationship is good or not, but in reality it's not.
Good job.
So what's the prize?
Was I given a prize?
I thought you
Were
said
you
for a
getting a
prize.
prize? Yeah, you did. Did she get the question right? She get it right?
Yes.
Yes.
What did you want?
Please try.
You're trying to select what you get? Wow.
Well, still
You select.
no, it's
Another question. Last question.
What is another form of intimate partner violence not, what did you say, physical or verbal?
Can't ask the same question.
There's
Why?
different types.
For an earpod. What's the question?
What is another form?
What is another form
Intimate partner violence.
intimate partner violence?
Kind of.
You guys know? Who's got the answer?
Oh.
Raise your hand. Say it's me.
So.
So I have an organization, it's like a youth organization, and so one of the things that we're doing is a film project. So we're looking for students and we interview like elders about their life and bring it on film. Yeah, we also have like a youth advisory. They meet like the last Fridays of the month, or every other Friday, and they work together on initiatives for youth. And it's a paid position. Yes. And then, what else do I do? I'm having a youth conference, but that's not till next year. Yeah? You're interested? Do you have a phone? I can give you the address.
Just take my phone.
Huh?
Just take my phone.
Maybe you can like follow it on Instagram, but I'm not very good at posting. Oh, you need a new screen.
Yes, I do.
Fix it.
Did we ask the question?
Yeah, she got it right.
What did you get right?
She said, controlling.
We need to engage other people that's not connected to the youth program. Really?
I mean,
Here we go. Who else has one more question? The answer needs to come from somebody else that's not. One last question.
We talked about, provide us, what are 2 ways to promote a healthy relationship? I don't even think that's a good one. Here, spell it. You can give them the answers.
Look at the list.
I know.
Yeah, just look at the list.
Yes.
Gonna answer the question? No? What's the question?
Respect and honesty.
What's the question?
2 ways to promote a healthy relationship.
Okay. Oh, did somebody answer?
Yeah.
Yes, the answer.
Who answered it? Yay! Good job! Okay. Question. Name one of the mental health chats that we had. I said no purple shirts. You didn't say it? What did you say? Huh? No, the name. Name one of the mental health chats that we had. You answer? No? Cece?
Bullying and sadly.
Name one of the chats that we had, the mental health chats that we had. No? One try? Try?
Like, no, it's not.
Sienna, one try? No? Quiet? The last question. Sylvian?
What's going on in the culture?
No.
Youth program?
No!
You gave the wrong answer?
Yeah, he gave the wrong answer. Name one of the mental health chats that we had that is not this chat. I said we went there on Monday. Sorry? No, I said name one of the chat that's not this chat that we went to on Monday. Where did I say that we went on Monday? Where did we go on Monday? They're thinking about it. Where did we go on Monday? Wow. What happened on Monday? Can anybody tell me where we went on Monday? They're stressed out.
He just said Queen's Park.
Huh? What's the name of the chat?
What does that mean?
What's the name of the chat that we attended on Monday?
It's like Mayor's Gala.
No. The Pickering Mayor's Gala was on Saturday. Ethan and I went. Nobody knows? What's the name of the event? You're Googling? You're Googling? Mohammed! Mohammed, I am so disappointed. Anybody want to take a crack at it? Going once? Going twice? Sufyan, where were you on Monday? Queen's Park? What's the name of the program? Nobody Nobody can tell? Wow. So on Monday, we attended the Alex Monaghan Queen's Park Mental Health Chat.
Okay.
Oh, that was it?
That was
I
it.
got the mental health part.
They just kept telling me Queen's Park.
How was that? Was it good?
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Well attended. One more question. Name an MPP that was present at Queen's Park. Name an MPP that was present on Monday. Don't Google it.
I'm not Googling, I'm not Googling.
Name an MPP that was present on Monday.
John.
Sorry?
It was John. Yeah, it was John something. One of the other guys, another old guy. I don't.
So what he was saying is, MPP John Fraser from the Liberal Party. Yes, you're correct. John was there. Yeah, John was there.
That's great. Negative teacher.
I'm gonna give you different sense.
Okay.
But that was good. Does anybody know another MPP was present? Someone want to take a crack at it? MPP that was present. Name a mayor that was present on Monday. Who's the mayor that was present on Monday? Who knows? Which mayor was present on Monday? Who's gonna go? Alden.
Does Mayor Kevin National?
Yes. There you go. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Carion Fenn Foundation, the Pickering Mayor's Gala, Mayor Kevin Nash, Ms. Karen O'Brien, all of our supporters, thank you very much for being here today. For those who need to get their hours, we will sign off on your hours next week, so bring your forms. Next week is our last week that we're having. It's gonna be the last one for this month until we have the event again next year. So make sure you arrive early and prepared. We have lots of topics for us to talk about. If you didn't put in your entry for the $500 prize, please make sure you do so by next week. So next Friday is the last chance you'll have to fill out that ballot to be able to get a chance to win the $500. We will have prizes again, and if you got a t-shirt that says "Let's Talk About Mental Health," wear your t-shirts next week. So we will have a special prize for someone who's wearing their t-shirt, like Carbon Copy, wear her t-shirt every week. I'm not gonna forget. Sorry. She was good. So wear your t-shirt. Thank you guys for coming. See you next week, and have yourself a